Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek calling in again. Right back at you, man. The Born Again Believers motherfucking show. I got my man, the Angry Black Man, online. I got my man, Superior G, online. And we promised a continuation with King LB. We got him back on the line today, too, as well. We had a good warm up, a good chat, man, and we're going to dive completely in today. Today's show is going to be based around Operation Black Messiah. And in order to talk about Operation Black Messiah, you got to go all the way back and start with COINTELPRO. So before we do that, salute to y'all brothers. Salute, salute, salute. I promise you, man, this got to be the most high touching, man, because everything that we're about to talk about tonight, man, is relevant for today. And for those that are consciously awake, soak this game up, man, and try to redistribute it out to whomever you can that's willing to listen, man. COINTELPRO. Within 1 year of the formation of the Black Panther Party, the FBI established a special counterintelligence program called COINTELPRO to neutralize political dissidents. So, between, okay, we'll say like, okay, they created this group to break up people that would go against the structure. That still applies to this day. There's still a continuance. Before I push forward, anybody want to say something on that?
Yeah, I think it's been going on longer than that. Like back when Marcus Garvey was here, he was a victim of it. And you've always, like, even in the books of the Bible, they always went after the first sons. Exactly. Operation Black Messiah, it's been active since back then also.
And even today, that Operation Black Messiah, Richard Nixon feared any black person that could come from overseas with the ability to wake up black people spiritually, and out of it. So I mean, like, if the president at the time could take something as a potentially a black messiah, that lets you know that they know that their time is up.
Right.
You're not looking for no sort of a messiah or no sort of a person that can sneak in to your house and disturb your slave. You know what I'm saying? I think this system of things, like whether it be economic, whether it be religious, whether it be government, whether it be whatever, everything is on a decline. I think Richard Nixon was like hip to the books of the Bible and knows and believes, like it says, a person will come from the West and come here and wake us up and all of this, whatever. But if the government can take a black messiah serious, I really feel like that's what they really fear. That's what they're really on the lookout for.
Yo.
Hope their word is over.
So the word says that he will come from within, meaning that he will be born within the people and raised up amongst them, and then will take his spot, right? So their whole initial movement is to the first sight or threat of anyone that has that type of brightness or characteristic about them that could stir up people in a way to where we would rise again and reseat ourselves, to kill him immediately. And they have shown that down the line many times, anybody that looks like us that has had the power to speak and the voice be heard and can move masses of people from across the country, if not the globe. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if Michael Jackson was a revolutionary. Can you imagine, like, if he wasn't a singer and he had that same type of energy as a revolutionary, he had the world in the grips of his hands and he could bring them in a certain way, they would do him in the worst way to send a message back down the line to anybody else that may have that spirit within them to put a halt to that shit, or otherwise you gonna feel this too. And of course, um, for generations on top of generations, we are involuntarily intoxicated with fear at times. And I'm not saying us individually, I'm just saying as a whole, we don't know the present history of everyone's lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like the tortures and the things that their families, ancestors have seen and had to endure, even the personal things where their lives may have been on the line, that trauma has passed down, and unfortunately is still a present factor in this generation where the greatest weapon ever created, fear, through demonstration of something that will either take your life or cause great pain,
And you gotta remember, you just imagine.
has us locked down. You know what I'm saying?
Just imagine if this is your world and you put your world into submission through making examples, through fear tactics, and just imagine over time they ain't afraid no more. I like to use this example. Like, take the wife that's been getting her ass kicked for 30 years in a marriage, and one day she ain't afraid. You know what I'm saying? I think what black people are to this point is, the more we seem like we taking up the gun, or the more we seem like we becoming unafraid, we're gonna start fighting back. We're starting to kind of take the wool off our eyes, so to speak, and seeing who the real enemy is. The more their efforts to step up. If you notice, in and about anywhere, all through the country, you see all these military Humvees, these tanks, these insurgents, and all of these vehicles being trailed and flatbed in through all these little inactive, what do you call them, Navy bases and stuff like that. All this construction you see on freeways going from asphalt to concrete to try to make it easy to roll tanks in. I think all of this, that they're preparing for us to fight back. That's why you see so much military act. It's no war, supposedly. There's no war in this country. Why do you see military vehicles on trains, going down the highway on the back of a flatbed, in black neighborhood? We got one in Oak Cliff, my old neighborhood. It's surrounded by woods, so you would never know it was there. Man, I see damn Humvee, all kind of shit they bringing in and out. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta wonder. You gotta wonder if they being. I don't mean to cut you. I'm gonna bring you right back. You gotta wonder if they being rail headed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see a lot of things because there's a certain destination, if they military, where they have to send them before they can be either put on a boat or lifted via air. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we'll never see the base riding around in everyday traffic. You know what I'm saying? Because it's back in the middle of the woods somewhere, always hiding. But we will see, when you see things like that, then you need to know something is going on in the world where they preparing to deploy.
Yeah.
Hey, and to think on the other side, you never know, because they could be using older material to put in certain places, like they could be, like you said, prepared, which I know they are. They could be having these inactive bases, which are really blacked out and still active, you know what I'm saying, where they are placing some of these materials in place for certain efforts that may come forth. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I just try to be on the positive. Huh?
They fight each other now.
Yeah, I forgot to
They fight each other, man. And they trying to involve us in it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Ain't got nothing to do with us.
I told this woman yesterday on Instagram, right? She had left a comment or something. I mentioned something about that Roe v. Wade. I dug a little bit deeper into it to find out who the woman was. But it turns out the woman that whole case back then was ever even about to begin with, that was like so-called gang rape and all of that, never even had a damn abortion herself. But that's beside the point. I said, I told this one woman, what's wrong with choosing your partner carefully? You know what I'm saying? So when I said we're on the whole, I mean, boy, she
Oh
let me.
my God.
I told her, she was basically saying, you know, like some special cases, maybe you rape, maybe you got a complication, whatever. I'm like, I'm not talking about
That's the scapegoat.
those special pregnancies that it might be better to terminate it. I'm just like, you scapegoating the fact that you lose.
Hot girl summer. Yeah.
Hey, look, they do the same tactics every time they switch office. They get it's still to me it's a distraction for strong black men to stand up. What better way to give men who are not strong something to talk about and then argue with your woman about, you know, now they putting the women back in power, the women are hitting the streets, the women are, you know, arguing about something that they know is dealing with them. You know, so it's still a tactic to throw us off course. To me, you know, because they know damn well that it's wrong because we already went through that whole system about, you know, abortion and everything else, Planned Parenthood and all that. But look how they still targeting black strong kings, black strong men. The whole thing about the abortion thing and all that is still targeting black strong men. How and us as people, we don't get, we forget, we so narrow-minded when it comes to conversations. We'll forget that the exact same person that's telling you that we pro-life, we don't want to get rid of abortions, are the same ones that through COVID and all this are telling you that we need to depopulate the earth. Exactly. The exact same people, they will fly all the way to Africa to try to kill babies, to try to kill humans, and then they're gonna turn around and come and say we need to preserve life. But then the same. If you do the research, okay, fuck it. Don't you the research? I gotta be that hard. Google this shit. The same bastards that's saying, you know, we don't want abortions are the same ones that's targeting and want to kill black men.
Hey man.
I just heard of a program called Project for a New American Century. Depopulation is a White House policy. Memorandum 200 is declassified now, so I think you can find it in the what is it called? The Freedom of Rights Act, something, the freedomofinformation.com. And it's a clause in there by a man named John Henry Kissinger that stated somewhere in like a 200-page document that says something along the lines of that they're making efforts, a lot of efforts, to cull or kill the population on the planet by 2 to 3 billion humans. And they refer to people that are like, how do you say, minority, black, or
all the humans. They want to kill. They want to kill all the humans.
They refer.
They ain't said nothing about them Neanderthal motherfuckers. They ain't say we're gonna kill Neanderthals.
That document refers to black people inside of it. They call us useless eaters. They're useless eaters, and their job is to depopulate the world by 2 to 3 billion people, domestic and abroad.
I'm eating right now. Fuck them.
Yeah, but I was like, so you say depopulation, right? I mean, just look at everything that's going on. So, on one hand, this government is so incredibly pro-gay rights, depopulation. You ain't reproducing, right? We're getting killed left and right. And this is the first time in American history black people all at one time went and started clearing the shells of guns and getting trained.
First time.
And gun laws.
Yep.
Now, it's like, now you say COVID-19, which is very man-made, and anybody that took it, they don't tell you the real statistics to people who were actually infected versus people who actually had it versus people who actually died from this shit. The water's poison, the damn food's poison, the education's poison, the vaccines are poison. They want to take your guns. They want you to be gay. They want to put gay shit on television so maybe your children grow. Everything that's working actively right now is all aimed towards killing. It may not be not all of it's physical killing. A lot of it is getting you to do it yourself.
Yeah, but
It's the whole world.
Yeah.
But his was up 2019, year to return. So that's why he's being exposed right now.
yes, sir.
Maxine Waters, she said fuck the Supreme Court today. Did y'all hear her when she said that shit?
No, I missed it.
She said fuck the Supreme Court. Women are going to do what they want, and black women are going to come out in the millions. They was like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Bruh.
Hey, you got to remember too, white people have been experiencing a negative birth rate since the 80s. I think their population now is 11 to 1, meaning for every white child that's born, one dies. Now think about this. If I'm white and the majority of rulership of this world is white, and they want to preserve their world, but their numbers are declining, don't you think they will go to work on preserving their numbers?
They doing that. They doing that right now.
They're definitely going to work.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is do right by us.
They fighting not to be extinct. But see, that would call for equality, Superior G, man, and they ain't ready to be equal. To get along with us is to share everything.
Yeah, but my thing is, I'm tired of this access to be equal. I don't want to. In my world, I ain't equal to the motherfuckers. I'm not.
They got so much coming, man. I don't want to.
Yeah, all this.
And whoever keep partaking in Babylonian shit, they getting dealt with too.
Yeah, man. It's like, come on, man. I don't know, man. It's like. It's just repeating itself over and over again. But now it's so bad to where they ahead of technology. They understand. They already putting out the bullshit in your ear, in your face. Your eyes is witnessing it. They are playing a psychological game, and you hear it enough, you see it enough. You're going to start believing it yourself. You're going to start believing that we're weak of power. You're going to start believing that you can't shit you can do. You're going to start believing that,
We already there.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a psychological game that they're ahead of.
Hey,
so
the last real men was born in the 20s.
They telling you they finna reverse all this stuff. And guess what? They sit back and laugh because nobody do anything until after the fact. And that's the part where we definitely have to wake up and a whole as a whole is that we have to start paying more attention, and we have to start getting everybody to start paying more attention to who is in office. So everything has to be glued together and activated all at once, that's the task. That's the
Do you believe?
That's the problem.
Or do anybody believe that? So I'll put it like this. So there's an order to the world right now, right?
Yeah.
And, okay. So with that being said, you take a country like this. I think America's maybe like 340 or 330 years old now. So at once upon a time, there was no order to the world, right? So when your world is in trouble and you want to preserve it, you got to come up with a new order, right? How do you believe that it's possible that the end goal of all of this is a one world government?
That because they got to use all their alliances, they can't do it by themselves no more.
Well, for me, I think it's like, I just think it's deeper than a one world government. It turns back to everybody looking within, which that's what they keeping us from. They don't want everybody to have sympathy, or compassion. or feel for someone more than yourself. You know, so if we can, it'll automatically be one world on everybody was about peace, or everybody was about not killing black people. That's automatically takes the power from anybody. If one collective body starts saying, "Hey," and it's in our face, it's on the dollar bill.
Hey, I
It's saying,
feel like
"We the people."
they at their last rope. I feel like independently, all nations all over the globe. I feel like independently, all nations all over the globe, they had a certain power level that they was able to hold for a certain amount of time, and then people woke up and finally started exposing that bullshit, and now they have to. They already have a UN. They already have a summit where they meet up every time the nations leaders of the earth. Once they meet up, they gotta consolidate with each other now to make one to hold on to the last.
Check this out, right?
We just had the G1 summit, and the next thing you know, that's when everything went the hell up.
That's what I'm saying. We've been hearing about a new world order for like the last fucking 30 years now. So like they at the end of their ropes right now where they gotta try to compress this shit into one to still hold on. Huh?
You gotta remember this too. You can go as far back in history as you want to. God has always gave every people a shot at rulership.
Yep.
That may have been a few hundred years, but it eventually goes out. Why is it different?
Because they go from benevolent to malevolent. Like certain people that get to sit on the throne don't have the heart of God.
Exactly, and that's the reason I was going to go back and say, do you remember a piece out of the Old Testament that says how to give the devil, A.E. white people, 6 days to do their work, and after the 6 days, he said, I'll come back. So one day represents 1,000 years
in heaven.
Now you can even white anthropologists or the people that dig bones and stuff like that, to this day bear witness that the Caucasian has not been on this earth for no more than
6,000 years plus.
That 6,000 year rulership that was given to them is over. When I say we quite literally living in the end, you look at their money, look at the prestige, the most powerful country on earth, feared by every other nation. Nobody's no longer afraid of us anymore. Everything about what they have or had is failing. Like when I say their world, their world is coming to an end, not the planet, but the system of jurisprudence is coming to an end, and they know their time is over. And the more we wake up to know that their term of rulership is over according to the book, you gotta think of it like this. See, they take the Bible serious. You got to remember, the most powerful government in the world wouldn't fall asleep on the book that said that they would have a certain amount of time to rule over all people on the earth and not take it serious, because in the government's mind, they know that maybe the people take that serious and maybe the people will move on the promise that's written. So look at it like this. They know that their time is coming to an end.
It's up.
They're not having babies.
The
money's going down. Nobody's afraid no more. We ain't won a war since fucking Desert Storm. And America is on its way out the door, quite literally. And this government.
China number one right now. America not even number one no more.
I know. But they wouldn't have fighted. You see, it's not as simple as them saying, hey, well, the book was true. I am the devil. My time of rulership is over. Here you go. Go ahead and take back your natural position on the planet. They ain't gonna do that shit.
Of course not. That's like telling Texans, hey, slavery is over with 100 years after slavery was officially over with. Now that's fucked up. That slavery was over with and the slaves in Texas were still in slavery for 100 years before they got word that it was over with. Huh?
They didn't know what time they were living in.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you what I learned today. And on this side of the hemisphere, it's 2022, right? But in accordance to two different calendars, I think one of them is called a Gregorian calendar, and I can't remember the other one.
So,
In Ethiopia, it's 2014 right now.
Wow.
real.
What the fuck is going on, man? We know.
Hey, I tell you this. You know, all your Greek freaks, your what do you call them? Your Roman Empire. You know, the months are named after old rulers and kings and this and that. They fucked up all the dates.
Yeah.
Some of them took days out. Some of them added days. Some of them said, I'll be honest with you, bro. Nobody really actually knows what year it is.
That I know.
You don't know what year it is.
And in all actuality, time don't exist.
It's just something they put it in place and we all agreed to.
Right.
So I look at it like this. So you say, if my mind can agree that when it's dark, it's nighttime, and when the sun is up, it's daytime. Okay.
But in the word, nighttime is day, and daytime is when you're supposed to be asleep.
It's flipped.
Yeah.
Everything is backwards.
But my thing is, it's crazy. So this cracker to this day says something crazy like, I think we should save a few hours on daylight savings time. So when I'm on this whole time, the way the earth rotates, we can expect seasons, we can expect changes, we can expect temperature, all of that. It's quite literally saying we're going to agree to push time back and make it law. So my thing is, y'all had this system in place for so long. What was it before? And could you retrace? It's so fucked now. You probably couldn't find your way back to what was before you.
And they can't find their way back because over time they done went to war and conquered certain towns and burned all the history up, burned all the libraries up.
They don't even know that. But my thing is, I think they know where they come from, man. 'Cause, man, check it out. You gonna be in them truck stops and shit. Look how look at the goddamn skull. They got skulls.
At the bottom, they've been lied to also.
Look, they got skulls and shit. They really skull and bones and everything. Why is that? Every cup you see, they got a skull and a cross and a bone. They got the shit laid out all in the grocery stores and everything is about digging up motherfucking bones. Yep. They know that they Neanderthal. They know that. The reason why they dig us up is because they trying to be godlike. They trying to be human. They want to connect with the melanin skin. They want to. We cannot be just straight monkeys.
Hey,
we have to be human.
They might be looking for themselves beyond us.
Of course.
And they ain't struck gold yet on that shit, period.
They don't know they come from us.
And they know that they come from us. They know that they was created. They know who Yakub is.
Well, they know they mingle. They know they mingle.
Huh?
They know they mingle. They know they intertwine with
That's
you.
also why human trafficking is big too. Because they take our shit.
Yeah. So
They take our shit. You know what I mean? They trying to live long. They can't take your money with you.
It's a lot of things in the spirit world that you don't understand that's attached to the natural world, because of course a sixth ether being is going to try to draw energy, force, knowledge, intelligence, whatever from a nine ether being. You know what I'm saying? So with us being nine ether beings, being the supreme of all, like everything that you know in outer space is in your body. You are a star. Everything that's in the buildup of a star, bruh, makes you, black man. So, of course, they're gonna go to those damn extremes. You know what I'm saying? To strip us of our parts and whatever, not because they have rituals. They have rituals that they perform with these body parts with the hopes of gaining what God has gifted us.
But it took those that was like really, really pushing far right, being malevolent, and they put their people in certain. The system can work fine. The systematic system that's there, but we are not using our intelligence to key in and make sure we have our people in those places that make key decisions on a lot of things. We still asking the devil to help us. And we don't realize that we have to stop asking the fucking devil for help. We calling the devil. Every time we look that way, we call the devil to help us.
I really feel like
Right about that.
this is his system. I really feel like it should all just be done away with and something better.
Right. Well, okay. But we can't. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Common sense ain't so common.
They're in place in a system, right? We still have to activate our black ass. We have to get the fuck up. They have to start doing
the Big Bang.
Right now.
Can we get to the Big Bang?
We have to do exactly what we're doing right now.
Gotta remember this too.
Fuck.
I don't care if the president is black, white, or green.
It don't matter.
He got a room that he go into, and they close that door behind him, and he takes orders from somebody. He just appears to be the ruler. If there's a government,
hey, keep it funky. You know who the fuck he taking orders from. Keep it funky.
Hey,
Tell about that 14-foot nigga back there.
At the same time, it's like this. If y'all sent me somewhere and I have to go and close doors with the fucking devil and the enemies and everybody's there and there's nobody backing me. Everybody's asleep. Nobody, they just wait for me to come out the room and save them all. Then these motherfuckers are saying, if you don't do what we tell you, we gonna kill you, right?
Kill presidents, of course.
But he's giving messages to the people what we have to do, and we don't respond. We don't.
May I?
Yeah.
We could get a lot done if people knew what was on the other side of death. See, that fear of every, it's some people that's not on our frequency, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's people that's out here that's not vibrating like us, bro. When you tell them death, they think the end and they think pain.
Okay, I got a question for you. How do you explain the millions of people that's already on code, that's already got their religions and churches and militias and everything that we doing, and shit still fucked up? How do you explain that? How do you explain that everybody's doing what we supposed to be doing? There's enough militias, enough
bro,
people out here.
Bro.
Why?
Bro.
What's the real why?
Hear me out.
We are still in the same spot.
Hear me out.
And it's going down here.
Hear me out. You still have to give room for the Most High to operate. And I'm going to say this. This idea right here, right? What we doing right now, right? This idea came from many other voices before I caught it and took it as a sign and tried to make it a reality. You see what I'm saying? With that thought, none of y'all knew because none of you were the voices that were coming at me saying, you need to do a podcast, you need to do a podcast, you need to do a podcast, you need to do a podcast. But after I put my foot forward into what I felt like was a sign for me, God assigned me people like y'all. Y'all didn't wake up and know that you was going to be a part of a podcast. You woke up and then goddamn something happened. Either you got a message from me or you was already attached to me. And I was like, bro, you got to come and get into this shit. And this was your comforting set, your feeling. You know what I'm saying? Where you felt like, okay, this is good for me right now. You know what I'm saying? We have, it's levels to this shit, bro. So above, so below, so above, so below. You heard me?
And that's my whole spiel, is that the levels of the shit, now it's time, in 2022, or the fucking year it is, or wherever else, it's time for the levels to sync together. It's time to get your soldering guns out, melt some shit together, put some goddamn screws and bolts together.
Hey. It's time.
I'm saying it strong so they can hear this
It's time because we say it's time. Because we tired.
It's time because
You gotta leave. You gotta leave room for the Most High. We didn't write this script. Hold on. Okay. We didn't write this script and we didn't create none of this. Nigga, we was born into this shit. So there's a hierarchy over us.
The hierarchy is there. The hierarchy is here. And as we invite more intelligent people and more people who have the powers that's doing or whatever, it's going to be. So all I'm saying is, as we put it together, we still have to remember that it all comes back on us, on what we gonna do.
My G.
We could say
there's not
the goddamn. I look at it like this. It's not as easy as saying getting into politics to solve our problems because he makes the politics. It ain't as easy as saying is we gotta be educated because he makes the books. It ain't as easy as saying is we need to be empowered economically. I mean, he makes the money. I mean, prints the money. I think all of these things that he's created in his favor is going to be really hard to overturn him in his own design. You know, I look at it like, I feel like, yeah, if you can get somebody fearless in a position of maybe like, I don't believe in no voting on no national level. I think maybe in a block or a group locally, because you're local, you know, like maybe. But if I set up, if I rule the world and I'm looking out for me and my own, and I'm setting up a system of things to benefit me first, I always have or know something about what I created over anybody. Now, you can learn my system and learn how to pimp it to your advantage to some point. But if I make the rules and you start to beat me at it, all I got to do is change the rules on it.
Okay. But your rules at a certain point, let's say the rules you made done pissed off half the people that you know that's playing your game. If they decide not to play your game anymore, then your shit stops.
Yeah, it's an illusion. It just goes away.
It goes away. But then you have to make a choice, which that's what the government would do. They would have to make a choice. You would have to start, you know, enforcing it, pushing it on the people, and then they would have to be persuaded.
What you get with push?
But that's the thing.
It's levels to this shit, bro.
We're not set up. We're not set up to combat the pushback.
It's levels to this shit.
We got everything in place. We have the militias in place. We have everything in place. But we're not taking enough time to understand.
It ain't enough time.
You gotta think about this too. This country can't fight a war at home the same way it could overseas. If you have somebody living in your house that you want to get rid of, you're not going to tear your own shit up in order to just get rid of this person. I look at it like this.
I'm gonna tell. Okay.
You can't beat them at their own game, you know, and all this. Of course, at the very least, they're reserved to right. I mean, this is the most powerful government in the world. I mean, they could literally just start slaughtering us. But you got to remember, a day like that would mean the end of them too, and they ain't about to put their shit to it. They ain't about to tear up their own house.
Yeah, they will. We just discussed that on the last pod.
They'll tear it up in the hands of us.
They bomb the shit out of
Philly. I would say this. It's levels to this shit. It's levels to this shit because, man, once upon a time there was a dude that couldn't see how we see, right? He might have bust his ass, he might have took his L's, and he might have gained a position that gave him something that he could see that equalized him out to what he can see around him that once was a dream, right? How do you take that achievement from a nigga that couldn't see that's all he can see now? I'm equal. This is status we talking about because that's what a lot of people are focused on, the way that they are perceived, their status. You know what I'm saying? I can see now. I got this job that's giving me this. I'm working this overtime. I'm doing all this shit right here. Here come a nigga trying to tell me something. Before you cut me off, anybody. Here come a nigga trying to tell me something that shows clarity and direction for what fits the times right now, right?
Yeah.
How can I be that nigga to these niggas when I was them niggas? When a 40-year-old was walking up in my face trying to tell me the same shit. What I'm getting at is how many generations back have we passed the invitation out and blase, blase, blase. Eventually, that's why I said there's levels to this shit. And the infinite wheel of repeat is going to constantly repeat. There's nothing new under the sun. If you follow the word, you follow what the fuck coming from me every time I open my mouth tonight. Nigga, how do you take from somebody that didn't have and now he got, and it makes him look equivalent to what's around him that he was reaching for with a new direction? When you used to be that nigga, you used to be that nigga, you used to be that nigga, I used to be that nigga where an older cat was like, you know what, I see something in you, bruh. And then he tried to put game on you. And if you was anything like me in your young 20s, man, I don't want to hear that shit. And that's on repeat. Our fathers did that shit to our grandfathers.
Yeah.
And back on and back on. So we asking for something major that's going to come with something even... it's going to come with something even as equivalent, if not more, of a combustible situation, because they ain't trying to hear that shit. They need to see that shit so that they can go and feel that shit before they want to really become that shit.
Just like King said earlier, though, it's like it has to be something that they already feel in themselves and want to head that direction, and then we just reaching out to the ones who feel exactly the way we feel.
We repeating.
Yeah, but at the same...
I put all the creators in. He put us together and shit. He got the rest.
That's why I said we got to leave room for the Most High. We got to leave room for the Most High, because how many... Okay, I can't be the only man on this line right now that's had a dream where he wanted to see himself in life. And then sometimes in that dream, the way you see things in a way to work, it just don't work sometimes. And when you young and immature, you look at this shit like, oh man, what the fuck? Or somebody hating, or what is God, blah, blah, blah. But then as you mature, you look back at the whole thing and be like, man, I might have just been saved from something crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant when I like, we got to leave room for God, because as a man, we can only do so much. There's ceilings to each and every last one of us that may look different from the next man's ceiling in height proportion.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
It all goes that we have to understand that we do have to take a pause. No matter, even though shit repeats itself, if we're not able as grown as men, now that we're grown and we call ourselves kings, if we're not able to control and say, let's take a pause for the moment, realize that we're kings, understand that we the ones dropped the fucking ball. No, our ancestors and my grandmother and grandfather fought for us to be free, fought for us to be able to free. We have to understand, and you have to be able to say your own faults and where the fuck we fucked up. We can't blame these little teenagers and the niggas that's coming up and the ones in the hood trying to figure this shit out, and then they got attitudes and they ain't listening. It's not up to them. It's up to us, the ones who drop every nigga in America who know and deep in their heart, they watching a black man get killed.
Okay.
And deep in their heart, they know that they...
It's up to us. It's up to us. What next?
But that's all I'm saying.
What next?
The message is coming from us.
Because see, we could say this 5 shows in a row. What next? Them niggas know it. Them niggas know what's up. What next?
No matter what next, you can't have a next without knowing.
Niggas know. You know these niggas know. These niggas ain't blind. These niggas are choosing to be blind.
Yeah, and the thing is, just like you said, I'll repeat it and I'll repeat it over and over again.
And they the ones that suffer.
And that ain't moved us an inch up the hill.
You can't get in the room. We can't stay in a room long enough to hear what's next. We got millions of men, black men, who have the answers to what's next. We cannot come together. We want to listen to one person. He got what's coming up next. The other nigga got what's coming up next. The
So
that's to hear the movements.
what if we okay. I love this shit. I love this shit. What if we as brothers, right?
Hold on. I'm gonna interrupt you right quick. It's just like this. Every goddamn leader that's ever spoke have the answer. We fucking look at books. You show a book, it has the answer. Every Farrakhan has the answer. The militias have the answer. The churches have the answer. But guess what? We won't sit still fucking enough to listen to all of them at the exact same fucking time and come up with a goddamn solution to this shit and agree that we all can agree.
It's probably like
we don't have the fucking answers.
It's probably like a
It's
bitch.
written on you, and we just look at it and we just saying the same shit over and over and over again. But guess what we're not doing? We're not coming collectively with no agenda and sit there and then we can say, oh, okay, we got everybody's together. Let's start from scratch. Who are our powerful leaders?
That's gonna take some humble niggas. That's gonna take some humble niggas.
That's where it gotta start.
That's gonna take some humble niggas because at the rate we going right now.
Yeah, we just
children. At the rate we going right now, bro.
We just children. We out here talking the same shit. You know how many angry men it is out here? You know how many niggas saying the same shit I'm saying?
I'm tired of hearing the same shit.
Exactly.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
We feel good about it.
So, hey man, we take what we got, and then we hope organically that it blow from there. We work with what we get. We learn from each other. We learn to love. We start over with each other. This small little circle right here. We start over with each other and learn to rebuild.
It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow fast because it's so simple. Because we all fit. We know the Yahweh in us is telling us our heart is fucking hurt. Every goddamn black man can resonate with that. That's where we gotta start. We have to get, and then as we come together, and then once the attention of the ones who have the positions, they have to understand that wholeheartedly. We understand you have your militias, we understand you have your churches, we understand you have this, and I know goddamn well you just as fucking confused as we are. Let's just sit still. Let's recreate what goddamn that was done in the past and add to that shit. We need a million motherfucking man march. We need brothers coming together, united from all over the fucking United States.
Fuck them all.
But whether it be by podcast, whether it be by whatever, we have to stay in agreement long enough to start hearing and then putting in positions the ones who already have the knowledge. We have to come in agreement. Millions of people have to come to an agreement that we're going to start listening and taking to heart the elders.
Okay, let me pick that apart. Let me pick that apart. You said you had to start listening to those with knowledge, right? There have been many that have come before us, before our existence, with supreme knowledge, bro.
Right.
And every single time we have picked them apart like vultures.
Okay, you know.
And then eventually, we have destroyed them.
You know why?
True verse.
Yeah, and we cannot come collectively together to understand what we are, the kingship that you have, and the militias, they're building on that wholeheartedly. The churches, they build on it somewhat. Farrakhan builds on it wholeheartedly, but it's a key element that's missing. We all still doing it separately. We think we have to be a part of something in order for it to happen, which that's our human nature. But just something as simple as I'm saying, look how difficult it is just for us to hear it.
Everybody think they know the way.
Exactly.
And guess what? Guess what?
Just to come together for no agenda.
It's a million ways.
How difficult that part is.
Hold on, bro. It's a million ways. It's a million ways to get to where we trying to go. Not saying that nobody's wrong, bro. And this ain't even the show tonight. This ain't even the show tonight. But I'm gonna say this. It's a million ways to get to the destination. All it takes is this, because I don't like whooping I don't like whooping a dead horse on every damn show. What I'm gonna say is this, and then we been saying this shit. And if we gotta say it 10 more times, goddamn, throughout the rest of this year, then so be it. Niggas know what we stand for. We are definitely trying to get black men together to start to rebuild, remold each other's minds, to heal. Niggas know that shit. We done told your monkey asses where you can go to get in touch with us because we do want to put our finances together to have an event where we can just have those brothers that's like-minded that want to start over again and come up with a general plan on how we as men, we as kings, we as black men can reseat ourselves.
And not hearing that message.
You know what I thought about a lot. So you say like, but now I'm real big when you say like pulling our money and our finances together. What do you think about? You say, I say, well, this one here got 5,000, this one here got 2,000, this one got 10, this one got whatever. Like, there's a lot of land, Americans for sale.
Bro.
Think, what do you think about?
Let them finish. Let them finish.
What do you think about? You say we pool our resources. Don't get me wrong. This may sound like, I mean, of course, just an ideal. You know, I'm not an organizer by, no means. I wouldn't even know how to facilitate or to get this many people to agree to something like that. I look at it like if we fucked in the water where we're at, how good of an idea do you think it is if we could not separate but isolate to a certain point? Like you say, would it be buying plots of land at a time, moving your people out to communities like like what you have in a Tulsa or something like that?
Yo, my first.
I know people doing it right now. Like right now.
My first instinct is this. When we first had you on the show, I asked you some questions, right, along the lines of contingency, and you fired back, well, I can't just give you the, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Or I would have to talk to such and such, right? But I will say this, when it comes down to that, me and my brother Q, we have talked, you know what I'm saying, for some years now, you know what I'm saying? We have dreamt, we have taken notes, we have studied, we have read, we have put heads together, and I feel like that through research and conversation, we do have a potential plan financially, right, that could work for everyone that is willing to commit. I just feel like this platform right here ain't for me to share openly.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But there is, like, when every show I say this shit, like, man, if you're sick of this shit, leave a motherfucking message, man, on IG at the Born Again Believers MF. If you leave a message in that motherfucker, I always say, man, we got a plan. Even when you was on the show last time, I was like, man, I'm just gonna be real. Subliminally, I was like, man, I know some niggas that got a plan, but in all actuality, nigga, I know some shit. The people that's around me know some shit.
What's so crazy about it is the plan is already out here. I'm saying it. And that's the whole puzzle of it all. Is that get enough men. Yahweh gonna lead you. Like he said, the ones who gonna hear the message, the bell has already rung. It's nothing I'm gonna have to convince. No magic tricks we're gonna have to do. No goddamn convincing. No sandwiches we're gonna have to pass out. Just the men who feel what we feel, and you feel it in your. This is a message that when we speak, you feel it right there. Your chest elevate this much when we talk. Those are the ones that we're going to come in contact with. Those are the militias that we're going to come in contact with. Those are the churches we're going to come in contact with. And the message is just simple as the same. we're going to tell them the exact same thing. Let's just meet up. What's the agenda? There is no agenda.
Straight up.
There is no.
Straight up.
I don't want to speak to anybody until we can meet up, meet each other, greet each other, know that we have fellowship men. Let's let other men see what fellowship with other men look like and sound like.
Bruh, let men see what black love and protection really
And
feel
guess
like.
what? There are organizations. This ain't no. This where we get it twisted. Everybody who's doing it right now, that's when their feelings get hurt. Now they think we talking about them when we're not. But guess what? You need to join the party too.
And it ain't, and long as people understand this, this is not a fame-driven network. You dig what I'm saying? Like, first off, I'm not that top tier as far as the internet goes and shit, right? I'm just now learning a few things on Instagram, right? So I don't understand all of the hashtags and all of the however you do to try to make yourself blow up. I don't put none of that shit on none of these videos. I just put it out so organically, whoever the fuck is meant to get, gon' get. God damn it. Nobody's over here trying to be famous. The thing is, there is a sense of urgency that needs to be recognized, and there's a sense of urgency that needs to be recognized that people tend to overlook for their comfort.
But that's what's so crazy about this shit right here. That is the message.
Like I said, you got two types of people. You got people that's in touch with reality and people that's out of touch with reality.
Oh.
If you used to living in the world of lies, the truth is going to be hard to come across.
Right. And everybody we get that simple message out. The ones who got Yahweh in them right there, and they feeling angry like we are, and we feel every bullet every black man took, and we mad and we ready to end this motherfucker. We all feel the same. So we don't have to give bells and whistles. The alarm has already been sounded.
Yeah.
This ain't no meeting up. Man, this is like we just need to let's just get together. And the leaders will. It's going to be an organic growth, faster than motherfucker. Because they all gonna hear it. They all gonna feel it. That's the message.
And that's the biggest
well,
thing.
We here right now. We here and shit. The rest is up to him.
Exactly.
That's the
as far as details and everything.
Yeah, but once they show, and like you say, the message is that, and then the ones who understand it, then that's when we don't worry about organizing anything like that. The people who in a group, it's going to grow organically. And then I'm not going to step on anybody. Why am I going to try to organize something when I know it's what the Hill Pete Gun Club fuck out there? I got the other one out here. Why the hell are we going to try to go start something that they already fucking doing?
Because that's what a lot of people are used to. A lot of people are used to people creating something and then trying to blood suck something, and that's not the case. Like really from the heart, really from the heart, man. Like
it doesn't take much.
Really from the heart, I want to be just like old boy that was on Constantine, man, where he was in the middle. He had the balance between heaven and hell. Like I would love to be the balance point where like. Man, this a real ass show, man. You know, like I would love to be the balance point where motherfuckers can really see like.
I'm gonna give us an example right quick. A real simple example. Nobody in here know how to build a car. But if we had everybody, you got tires at your house, I have a motor, you have an old beat up Ford. My homie got some seats.
Say that.
The other nigga got some gas. The other nigga got the gas tank. All of a sudden, here come a brother with some spark plugs.
Ooh.
Here come another motherfucker with a carburetor. Here comes somebody else with the windows. Here comes somebody else with the old-fashioned roll-up windows.
Damn.
Here comes somebody with the side glasses. Now here comes a motherfucker with the dice in the mirror.
You got a whole
Here comes another
Mustang.
motherfucker that know how to paint. Guess what? You got a fucking car.
Yeah.
I think as black people, we, and me especially, I'm the type. I gotta see it to believe it. I really feel like, like I said before, we've been lied to so fucking much. It's really.
Bro, just sit back sit back and be patient, man.
I even go as far as say, not even saying see it to believe it. I gotta see something that seems like, you gotta see some sort of.
Then let's do it. Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, there it is right there. Let's do it. Let's pick a date. Let's pick a date. Let's pick a location and let's do it.
These motherfuckers panicking, man. Look around.
Hold on. Now we'll take what we got. Let's pick a date. Let's pick a location and let's do it.
In the car. Let's talk.
We're gonna chop this shit up offline. If this where y'all want to end it at?
Yeah, everybody feel it, and everybody see that part right there. What you just said, that is the hitting fear of every.
Hey man, on everything I love, IG at the Born Again Believers MF man. Like, share, click subscribe. If you don't like this shit, shut the fuck up, man. This shit ain't for you, man, with your ugly ass. Other than that, this drink's for your stinking ass, nigga, for you haters, and we gone, and goddamn, tap the fuck in, cause you ain't gonna tap in down here, cause you got cowed in your DNA. So take your ass over to Instagram, at the Born Again Believers MF. MF stands for motherfucker. Take your motherfucking ass over there and leave a message in the DM. No, we finna fix this right now. Hey, when we come back with the next video, we're gonna have a date and a location. And you gonna have to get at us to get there. Bye. Peace, love, bye.